On the SaaS side, a common challenge is my product is not selling like it ought to. Why is that? Well, there's a number of causes, but a very common cause is that they have insufficient product market fit. And that means that either they haven't done or have done insufficient market research with their product.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Laurie Wiggins, CEO at Byond. Laurie, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. I appreciate you spending some time with us on Business Ninjas. Please tell us a bit about yourself and about Byond.
Sure. So I was a Boeing engineer, systems engineer for about 19 years, and I participated in a number of product development teams, led them, both hardware and software, and in aerospace, in IT. And that was great experience because I became intimately familiar with product development. After I left there, I did some consulting as an engineer. I had some startups, and then I started a business consultancy in 2018. And so it's been great because I've been able to take all that past experience as well as my current learning and reading and apply it to the benefit of my clients.
Excellent. So tell us a little more specifically, what sort of consultancy is Byond? What sort of advice are you giving your clients?
So I have a business partner, Hector Del Castillo, who has somewhat of a similar background, that combination of product development and business. We are a business growth consultancy, and we work with lower mid-market executives to help them grow the way they want to. That means either organically or to scale. Frequently, if they're scaling in particular, they need investment. And so we help them obtain that and be ready to receive that investment.
Absolutely. And what sort of verticals are you servicing with Byond? What companies do you work best with?
We're working with medtech, health tech, digital health, certain niches in IT like telecom, aerospace, fintech, and we get companies coming to us in other verticals as well.
They said mid-market. Any particular size company you work best with?
Yes, we typically work with companies with annual revenues of 5 to 50 million, but we also work with startups too that have some sort of revenue. Either they're already making money with their product or service, or they're doing consulting, or they have some other kind of income.
Gotcha. And what are the most typical problems you're solving for these clients?
So interesting. So on the SaaS side, we work with both SaaS and hardware companies.
Mhm.
On the SaaS side, a common challenge is my product is not selling like it ought to. Why is that? Well, there's a number of causes, but a very common cause is that they have insufficient product market fit. And that means that either they haven't done or have done insufficient market research with their product. Typically, what happens is they'll go out to supporters and friends to test market the product, when most of that marketing, that test marketing, needs to be done with cold outreach. And that way they get a very accurate read. There are ways to test market products before you code the first line of software or before you build anything. And we always recommend that because that's far cheaper and easier. Another very common problem is that people need resources outside of their companies in order to achieve their growth goals. And very frequently, they've either gone out themselves to try to raise investment and they have failed, or they know they need help from the get-go, usually more experienced entrepreneurs. And so they're seeking that help. And number one, we assess for investment readiness. And number two, we help them find the right investors for their company. So there's a lot of pitfalls there to avoid.
Well, I think a tiny shift in perspective, an external set of eyes on a situation are critical. Everybody has a set of ideas about who they are and what they do and who they're trying to reach and what their ideal customer profile is. And sometimes a person standing over here has a completely different perspective of many components to that equation. So that's an invaluable resource for people. Absolutely. What makes you stand out from your competitors? Why should people be doing business with Byond?
Really good question. There's a couple of things. First, both Hector and I are intimately acquainted with technology and product development. We understand that process very well. We also have a lot of acumen on the business side. And it's that combination that enables us to spot not only the issues, but the underlying causes to those issues, which may or may not be obvious. Further, we have a set of processes that we use that are proven, and we can very specifically show how we get clients from point A, where they are today, to point B, which is where they want to go, and not only taken into account the current resources they have, money, time, people available, but also leveraging their strengths. And I think a lot of people miss that point. It's taking what you do well today and leveraging that even more to get you where you want to go, in addition to the things that you need to do. So we always are looking for ways to use what people already do well. Because there's a lot of emphasis on what's wrong, what is the problem. We're problem solvers, so we're guilty of that too. But it's really using what you do right as well.
Excellent. Now, you said you launched the business in 2018,
Right.
which means you hadn't been in business very long when the evil COVID came to town. Tell me about the challenges and opportunities of trying to help people grow their business through a pandemic.
Oh, for sure. We started out as an M&A consultancy, and we were just getting rolling, and the pandemic hit, and it was very detrimental to our business because a lot of our contacts were being made in person, and of course, all that went away. And so during the pandemic, we did pivot into more business advising and consulting. And we also added getting investment for people because we kept running up against the same problem. I mean, nearly everybody that we spoke with, they were having issues in this area. So we were able to add that to our practice. And so that's been a good combination for us. And as we're coming out of the pandemic now, we're rebranding and so that we can better talk to the things that we're doing now.
I assume that in the world of M&A, a lot of companies struggled so much that they were sort of gobbled up on the tail end of COVID. Is that kind of your experience, that companies were under belt?
You should talk about that, because I'm going to go back to the recession of 2008 through 2010 for some examples. Studies showed that the companies that did not retract from marketing and they kept going strong through the recession, they came out far better. And they were in a position to take advantage of some bargains where companies that weren't doing so well, they were able to get them at bargain basement prices, which really helped their ascendancy as they came out of the recession. This has been true of the pandemic as well.
I assume that's the case. I mean, not everybody had the war chest to survive. Okay, in tough times, you double down, you market, you pivot, you do what you have to do to sustain yourself.
Mhm.
Every small business has the finances behind them to get that done. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, I just imagine a lot of them getting poached by some of the big boys.
Well, also there's a risk tolerance here. And sometimes the bold move is less risky than simply trying to ignore it, wait it out, or otherwise allowing fear to drive the car.
No, hey, those were unknown times. Like, small business owners cannot have imagined that happening to them, so.
Of course not. Just like recessions, right? Recessions are not unheard of, but they're uncommon. And how many recessions does a business owner experience in their lifetime? Maybe one, maybe two. So you're right. Pandemic, absolutely, hopefully once every 100 years or something. And it's not always clear what to do, to be realistic about it, right? But doing nothing was a common problem, and that was a death knell for a number of businesses.
Gotcha. Let me have you put on your marketing hat for a second. We're in an era where you really have to tell your story so people can find you. What role has content played in the growth of Byond?
Right. So a great question. The sales process has changed a great deal in the last 10 years. And now studies show that prospects have already gone through over half of their sales process before they ever contact you. Well, how do you entice people to contact you? And it's content marketing, because content marketing is about the value that you bring. It's the stories that you tell. It's your processes. It's the problems that you solve and showing how you solve those. And it's putting out that relevant to your target audience content through time, drip, 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 that helps them understand your capabilities, and when they're in trouble and when they have problems, that's you that they think about reaching out to. So the things that you guys do, that's a critical component of that sales process.
You speak our language. I know a guy, as the case may be. All right, look down the road a year from now. I know these are tentative times at best as far as the economy and international trade. I mean, this is a very strange time.
It is.
Look down the road a year from now. What are some things you'd like to be celebrating personally and professionally?
We have financial metrics and targets that we want to meet. And I see myself lifting a glass of excellent champagne or whiskey and toasting that.
I got a feeling both of those things will be even more expensive at that point than they currently are. Yep.
But we get a huge charge out of seeing our clients be successful. So not only will I raise my glass, I want to raise a glass with them.
There you go. Well, please tell us, what's your URL? Where can people find Byond, and what social media outlets are you using these days as well?
Right. So we recommend the following. We'd like for people to go to our LinkedIn site as well as our website.
That's byondma.com, BYONDMA.com, and
Correct.
LinkedIn.com, and the company's name is Byond M&A. Laurie Wiggins,
Yes.
I wish you continued success at Byond, and the work that you do helps other people succeed and thrive. So good on you. All the best to you and
Andrew,
your continued health and success. Thank you for spending some time with us on Business Ninjas today.
thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
My pleasure.